That couple that have £1 million house, they have two kids, not young, but two kids. They start drawing income from, they've got their state pension and they're drawing another, let's say the husband is drawing £3,000 a month from his personal pension and he dies with a £750,000 pension at the age of 74. What happens next with that pension? Obviously,
so if the husband dies at 74, there would be no income tax liability on the beneficiaries who receive that pension. They can receive that pension as a cash payout, income tax free, because he was under the age of 74. If the spouse is still alive, there would be no inheritance tax at that stage. So that's how that scenario would work.
Right. So that pension basically goes to the spouse. The spouse then gets it in a beneficiary pension.
So the spouse could receive it as a beneficiary pension. That chunk of pension would sit alongside their own, let's say the spouse has got their own pensions as well, but would be earmarked and treated differently for tax purposes thereafter for the rest of the life. So the spouse might benefit, if it's a sizable pension, it would still probably be a good idea to keep it inside of a pension. Any income that is drawn from that pension by the spouse would never be income taxable to her. And obviously keep retaining it within a pension wrapper would mean that there would be no capital gains tax on the ongoing growth. And if it's a significant size pension, that's going to be beneficial. You're still going to have a inheritance tax problem, but let's say the spouse is a similar age, 74 years old, and let's say the spouse is expecting to live to life expectancy for another 10 years. There could be some strategic gifting opportunities out of the pension. No income tax on whatever chunks the spouse wishes to take out. 7 years beyond the gift, it falls outside of the estate. So certainly in that scenario, definite need for some good financial planning.
Because if I was the spouse, I'd be saying, well, husband's died relatively young. I've got £500,000 pension here, which is going to be taxed at 40%. Why wouldn't I just take it all out tax-free and give it to the kids at that point? Because I'm confident I'm going to live for another 7 years. There's a conversation to have. Put that into some trust where it'll fall out of my estate over the next 7 years. There's so many different scenarios now. And then obviously the difference is spouse dies at 76 and statistics say that one of them is going to live to the age of 90. Then what happens to the beneficiary pension?